What's up, Knife Tube? It's Diamond Cut Steel, and you guys are going to learn something today. All right, so we just got through really beating on this DC53 steel in this HX Outdoors Rock Apex. Performed very well on the factory edge. I'm surprised at how well it did, actually, considering how dry and hard that oak wood was. Quite shocked that it stood up to that. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a new edge on this bad boy. Yeah. So how we're going to do this, we've got one of these, and I know, yep, these are not very good stones, but the super coarse stones, like the 80 grit, don't make sure they're straight. Check them. You can bend them and get them perfectly straight. We're going to use one of these to really strip some steel off this, to get any of that fatigued steel off from that factory sharpening. I don't suggest you buy these, but except for the 60 and 80 grit ones, just for super steel strippers, because that's what they are. They actually work quite good for that. So I'm actually going to show you how good they work for that. And they're dirt cheap, and they actually last decently. I mean, don't expect them to last forever, but they last decent. So we're going to set this at 20 DPS. Actually, I hate when people say DPS. We're going to set this at 20 degrees per side, or 40 inclusive. We're at 19 right there. Should be about perfect. Damn, I'm good. Alrighty. So yeah, we're at 40 inclusive. For the kind of use this knife's going to see, that's a perfect edge. Keep in mind, this stone has had a lot of reprofilings done on it. A lot. And it still is pretty aggressive and cuts pretty decent. But you're going to see, so it'll remove some steel. I would never buy these plastic-based stones in anything except for the coarsest grits. Maybe like the 60, 80, and 120. Beyond that, waste of money. But they make dirt cheap, super aggressive reprofiling stones that do a pretty damn decent job. For when you really want to strip some steel off. You can still hear how aggressive it is, even after, hell, 50 plus reprofilings, maybe more. Okay, we've got a burr all the way up except for where the compound ground bit. Okay, so we're going to have to remove a little bit now up here. And if you do buy them for reprofiling purposes, I highly suggest to get the wider ones, because you can actually use them freehand as well. And they work just perfect. That wider stone actually is fine on thick single too. I have no doubt this steel is going to perform much better after this sharpening. And I'm using a good bit of pressure because I'm really wanting this snatch steel off of this thing. Yeah, we still. Tell you what, they run this steel pretty hard too. I can clearly feel that it's ran quite hard. Don't work too long in one place. Work and then blend. Work and then blend. Especially with these coarse stones. Okay. Okay, now we got a nice healthy bud. As you can see, this was probably at like 22, 23 degrees and maybe even 25 up here. And as you can see how quick, and that's been a well-used stone, how quick we're, reprofiled this. And yeah, I always keep some of these on hand. Always. I wouldn't use them for anything. I would, like I said, past 120 grit, wouldn't buy them. Because you can, for the same amount of money, you can get, ones on aluminum bases. So, but, for the reprofiling, just make sure they're straight. If they're not, you can make them straight, no problem. I'm sure y'all are free. I'm really impressed. This DC53 has done pretty daggum good. It's most definitely not ran soft. That loud noise there because I lifted a healthy burr. That's what that sound, why the sound pitch changed like that. I'm probably killing y'all's ears with this super aggressive stone, but nothing I can do about it. And see, removing steel like this and getting any of that fatigue steel off that factory edge. Getting rid of that, this steel, it performed good on the factory edge. So I have zero doubt that it is going to perform very good now that it's, going to have a proper edge on it. That's definitely a good bit of steel removed. I will say this, there's a slight angle discrepancy from side to side on the grinds. As you can see, width of the bevel is wider over here, not so much at the back, but here than it is here. And I've already apexed. I'm gonna actually, that stupid ass little mini fridge is gonna squeak. I'm going to actually remove a little bit more, even though that it's already apex. Just want to get rid of some of that that burnt steel or fatigue steel. Hang on one second. Their little mini fridge is going to drive us crazy. That thing's old as hell. About time to get a new one. It's like 20 years old. All righty. We should be in business. Should have a nice healthy burr. And we do. Oh yeah. All right. That's what we want. So we're going to use those new Xarilk, that 6-piece set. It's $19 that I was telling y'all about. It's a pretty decent set of stones. It's DC53 and it's a belt knife, so I'm probably just going to finish it at maybe we'll go 400, 800. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. 400, 800. And as you can see, nice and aggressive scratch pattern, so it's really removing some steel. Got a nice healthy burr formed, which I intentionally did. I want to know I removed quite a bit of steel. But yeah, don't just look over these stones. They have a purpose. As long as you just stick with the coarse ones for super reprofiling stones, these things are great. All right, so we're gonna go 400, 800. I don't know. We'll see how it acts. We might even go up one more grit. These are Xarilk. It's $20 set, 180 to 3K, 6 pieces. They're on aluminum bases. Pretty decent diamond plates for 20 bucks. All right, we're gonna hit it with a little bit of Windex. We are going to flip that burr. Okay. Tighten up that scratch pattern, get it matching this 400. It'll do it very quickly. We're already there. Okay. And we'll flip that burr again. Again, get the scratch pattern caught up to this stone here. It'll do it very quickly. I'm just using pretty much the stone and stone holder's weight as far as pressure. I'm not applying any pressure now. On the first stone I was. So I just want to rip steel off and put this one here. I mean, we've already definitely called up the scratch pattern. I'm just removing a little extra. Okay. For hundo. 8 hundo. The hundo of 8. So you got that little 400, because it's so loaded with diamond, it really cuts. All right, now we're to 800. A little bit of Windexy. I'm gonna flip that burr. Catch the scratch pattern up to this 800. When I'm getting up here, I'm making sure I don't roll over. Once I get up towards the tip, I'm applying pressure this way to keep the stone from rolling over. Very little though. I'm just kind of, that way I don't round my tip off. And doing that, I can go past the center of the stone, so I know I'm getting the very tip. And all I'm doing is just kind of slightly twisting away from the tip. That's a good tip that'll help you get your tip without rolling it over or rounding it off of it. Okay, and we already are well called up to that 800 in scratch pattern. Let's flip that burr again. A little bit of Windex. And now on this side, when I get up to the tip, I'm going over halfway, over the halfway point of the stone. Now instead of twisting this way like I am over there, I'm twisting this way, away from the tip. Then the stone won't go like this and roll over my tip and round it off, even though I can get almost to the edge of the stone. You see that? That will absolutely help you get your tip and never make sure that you get the tip without ever rounding them off. Okay. See how that finish looks. Those are relatively new stones. Are going to be a little more aggressive than they will be post break-in. Yeah, I think that's looking good. I kind of like that. Aggressive. Should we go up one more? Y'all want to see what the 15 hundo looks like? Let's do it. I should stop there, but it's fine. We'll go to the 1500. I wouldn't typically take this steel to this high, but BNCs they're not true to grit. There's a little bit of contamination, so it's going to make it a little coarser than it actually says it is. But even regardless, they're still not true to grit. This is realistically probably like 1,000 grit. Flip that burr. Flip it again. Good on index. Let's see how this stuff deburrs. The burrs are flying down a lot. Okay. Let's see how this stuff wants to debur. Alright, so we're going to flip that burr, start fatiguing it. And we feel pretty much clean the burr. Make one more. And now we'll do a edge leading pass or two. Just to get any of those burr fragments off. Okay. We should be good. For 20 bucks, I'm telling you, it's a hell of a decent set of plates, especially for like an entry level, somebody just getting into it. That's a solid set of plates for $20. They'll perform good for you. I mean, are they going to be, super high quality? No, but they perform good. They're going to last you a decent bit of time. And, can't really beat it for 20 bucks. Okay. There's what our finish looks like, straight off the stone. Nice and consistent. Nice sticky point. A little bit of asymmetry in the grind. That ain't no big deal, but it's not much, but it's there. I'm not talking about in the edge. I'm talking about in the actual grind. All right, so we're just gonna make a couple passes on the dry strop, of course, at sharpening angle or slightly above. Get any of them little burr fragments off. This is a dry strop, no compound, so I'm not really worried about angle. There's no abrasive on it. I just want to be slightly over angle, so I know I'm catching that apex and pulling any little burr fragments off. Now that should be an absolute razor edge, and it is. Maybe a little piece of burr or two. Maybe. Felt a slight little catch. Yeah, I just feel I think there's one little piece of burr that I'm feeling on there. The steel deburred very nicely, as I expected it would. I believe they did a very good job on this piece of steel. Let me make a couple more passes on the dry strop. Seems like I felt the piece of burr about right there. That should have got it. I do not believe there's any burr hanging on. The steel feels very well done. Yeah, there we go. Exactly. Yeah, there's no catching now. Come on. Yeah, perfect. That's a beautiful edge. Extremely sharp. Lots of bite. Oh yeah, lots of bite. Very, 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 very sharp. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make, just to make sure that there's no little burr fragments on there, we're going to just make a couple passes on 3 micron. Exactly at sharpening angle, of course. That's gonna bring up that keenness a little bit too, which is already very keen. That should have brought that keenness up significantly because there's so much bite there because those stones are, you know, not fully broken in yet. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. Yeah, that's very nice edge. This DC53 is done good. It is done well. No complaints here. Good job, HX Outdoors. Good job. It's a solid piece of steel. Well done. No complaints. The burr refined down nicely. Burr come right off. No issues. Come up very, very, very sticky. Very, very, very aggressive. Good job. Really awesome camp knife. All right, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Now I'll talk to you later.